Hi friends, welcome to Beads and Skeins. My name is Chloe and this is my making channel where I talk about knitting and yarn and occasionally sewing if I'm feeling a little bit adventurous. Today I wanted to share a little bit about my making plans for the rest of the summer. I feel like it's kind of late to talk about summer 2025 plans, but I recently went through my wardrobe of knitted sweaters and I kind of identified some areas where maybe I have gaps. And I also have a few whips that I want to prioritize because I want them in the fall. And then I have a little bit of new yarn that I want to talk about also. A lot of it is sock yarn, but it's incredibly beautiful. And so I wanted to share it anyway because I think some of these sock yarns would be so cool as just like if you got a sweaters quantity and knit them into sweaters. And then at the last half of the video, I was gonna say the end, but I would say there's actually equal amounts knitting plans to sewing plans. So I also have some sewing plans to talk about and some fabric to show you. It's so beautiful. I'm like sitting in the middle of the most beautiful pile of like colors. So the, oh God, what they're called, the whips. The whips that I have 3 whips that I would like to prioritize finishing over the next couple months. 2 of them are for me and 1 of them is a gift. The first one is the Paul cardigan. I have not done very much. So the Paul cardigan is by Moreca knit. It is a saddle shoulder construction knit from the top down. So I have the saddles. It's so meager. It's curling like pretty horrendously right now, but this is the curve of the neckline, so this will sit over my shoulders, and then the saddles are here. I am struggling with the pickup for some reason along the back, and I did it at the rate suggested in the pattern, which is 2 of every 3. And I was wildly short of stitches by the time I got to the middle. And then I tried again and then it didn't look very good. And so I got annoyed and I put it in the naughty bag. But I really like the color that this is turning out in, and I do want some more cardigans in my wardrobe. So I need to just like power through. I need to pick up the stitches. I need to dedicate like probably an hour. I don't know what it is. I have picked up so many stitches in my knitting career. I don't know what it is about this particular sweater. If it's the yarn, if I'm just like now more picky than I used to be when it comes to picking up stitches. But I want it to look really clean and nice, and I'm just on the struggle bus, guys. I'm just on the struggle bus. But it's fine. I know I can do it. I just need to like get a podcast and get those stitches picked up. So that is kind of like priority number 1. Because I realized last time when I went through all my garments that I only have 3 cardigans and I'm actually getting rid of 1 of them. And the other 2, I'm like lukewarm on. Versus like this one, I love this color. And so I'm hoping that that will kind of make this maybe one of the most wearable cardigans in my wardrobe, and I can wear it all over the fall. All over the fall? All during the fall. My next plan / priority is my Halibut sweater. This one is actually coming along fairly well. I have finished the yoke and I have split for sleeves. I've only done a couple of rows after splitting for sleeves, and the reason why I'm paused at the moment is because I have to put it on try-on cable again and try it on just to make sure that I've picked up enough stitches along the underarm and to make sure that my first few rows of floats aren't too tight, because when I cast on the stitches under the underarm, I didn't begin doing the color work pattern because it would just be like the tail end of the head of a fish, the tail end, that's not right, the bottom end of the fish, and I was like, that's going to be weird. So I didn't do that, which just means that I'm carrying my float quite far. And so yeah, I just want to put it on try-on cable and try it on, make sure it's fitting before I carry on. And then if I do have to rip out, I'd really only be ripping out like 2 or 3 rows. But I think it's been a little bit since you've seen this, so it's coming along pretty well. I'm really happy with my decision to rip out my original version, which was to modify it fully into a raglan, because that just wasn't going to work for me. But I think that this is turning out really well, and I'll show you the raglan increases that I did. And I'm not going to get a huge amount into all of that. Where can you see? Where are they? Here. So you can kind of see, I'm hoping you can see, along here I've got raglan increases on the body and none along the sleeves. And so it creates, for me, I think it'll create a better fit over the shoulders. And I mean, the color work is beautiful. The motif, uh-oh, I think I just lost a couple stitches, but the motif is stunning. And I haven't yet decided whether I want to do a folded over collar or the high neck collar. So I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, and I will see when I'm done. I think I'll fold it over, but I'm gonna wait and see. And I think it would be really cool if I could finish it before going to Iceland this fall. I think this would be so fun to wear in Iceland. It just is very like earthy and kind of like, not rustic, that's not the right word, but like not hippie, outdoorsy. Yeah, it's like very outdoorsy. Okay, so party whip number 3, which is the last whip that I have, that I want to work on and finish by the end of September ideally, is the So Basic sweater by Maxim Sear. And this is a pattern that I am modifying, if I can figure out how to show it to you. I actually don't even know. Maybe it's like this? No, it's like this. I've modified it just in terms of stitch. So I'm doing a broken rib stitch versus that one is designed as a raglan. But this is gonna be for my fiance, and we are getting married in like 2.5 months. And so if I want to give it to him before we get married, I kind of have to get going on it. But we'll see. I don't know. Right now I just feel so inspired to make things for me, but I think he'd like it and he'd look very handsome. So it'd be kind of cool if I could finish my halibut sweater and then this sweater, and then we could wear them together in Iceland and get like a cute matching photo. That'd be nice. Okay, so my other, well, okay, that's the end of like the whips. And then I do have some plans for a couple of new cast-ons. This one, I'm debating of the pattern, but I recently got this Briggs and Little Heritage, which is a 2-ply wool, and I believe it is worsted weight or potentially Aran weight. So that's definitely a worsted weight, I think. And I just have it in this beautiful navy blue. And I'm debating whether I'd want to make the Salty Days sweater by Katova Kika, because I have kind of like had that pattern on my would like list for a while and just never had the yarn because I was envisioning it in a navy blue. I just think that would be like very like ocean themed. Apparently I'm maybe in like a little bit of a maritime. Anyway, I'm in a coastal theme at the moment, but that is one option. The other option is, if leaning more into some more cardigans, I could use this to make the Lakes cardigan by Ozetta. I did swatch for that pattern with a different yarn and it just was not the correct gauge. I think this would be the correct gauge. And I think that would be a really nice, like navy blue, but like still pretty substantial cardigan. So I'm kind of like torn between those. I don't want to cast it on, like I do want to cast it on, but I also don't want to cast it on because I have other things going on right now. And I mentioned previously that I've like lost my knitting mojo a little bit, and so I don't want to continually cast on more things. But the other side of that is maybe right now I'm just kind of annoyed with some of my whips, like trying to pick up this back yoke on my Paul cardigan. I just cannot seem to like get myself going to do it, you know? So maybe a new cast on is what I need. Listen to me trying to justify it. Okay, and then the other thing that I want is I really want to make a few more pairs of socks. And I just want to like spruce up my sock collection. I love wearing knitted socks. I was actually wearing knitted socks until just before I turned the camera on. And then I was like, I'm way too warm to do this right now. But I have a ton of like incredibly beautiful sock yarn that I think would also be very beautiful as sweaters. And so I just wanted to show them to you because, anyway, there's a few. So I have a couple different dyers that I ordered from, and I'll just show them to you like as collectives of the dyer. So I have this from Loom Wool, which is UK based. And this is their simple sock in the color Persimmon. Oh, it is gorgeous. And then there is this one, which is one of their sock sets called Cappuccino. And I think this in particular, this speckled yarn, would be gorgeous in just a plain stockinette sweater. And then another one from them, this is a smaller sock set. It's like the 50-gram sock set plus a 20-gram mini. But this is called Bookworm. And just like appreciate that color for a minute. And I have another one from them, but it's on my needles at the moment, and that one is called Wildflower or Wildflowers, and it's just like speckled like pink, like a little bit of blue and a little bit of brown and a bit of green. Also beautiful. I don't yet know how these are gonna wear just because I've never used them before, but in terms of colors, stunning colors. And for the Bookworm, I don't know if you could really get a good color representation, but this mini is not black. It is like a deep green. I'm just so impressed by these colors. I don't have anything else to say about it. They're just so beautiful. Okay, so the next dyer is Coast to Coast Yarn Co. I feel like everyone knows about this. I've never used them before. They're quite difficult to get in Canada. I ordered these two from Amy Sure Makes, and it's from the Soups On collection, which is kind of funny. I feel like very typical Chloe fashion. When I saw them originally when they were released, I was like, those are kind of boring. You know, like greens and browns, but maybe I think I'm just actually in my greens and browns phase. And so now I'm like, yes, greens and browns. But this one here is Split Pea and Crusty Loaf. And then this set over here is Potato and Leek. And I think they're just gonna be so, so beautiful. So yay for me. This one, oh my God, UPS did me dirty again. They were shipped through UPS. I did pay for shipping, and then the cost of delivery fee was 80 Canadian dollars, which is absurd. It's like this together, you know, they're hand-dyed sock sets. Of course, they're going to be a bit more expensive. So I think together they were $51 Canadian each. So 102 Canadian dollars total after tax. And then an 80 Canadian dollar cost of delivery fee. So it was 80% of the cost additionally to get them delivered. And I was like, that's crazy. And I actually debated not accepting them just because it's like, it was so expensive. But somebody put a lot of love and work into dyeing these yarns, and the thought of them living forever in the UPS purgatory of abandoned packages, actually, I couldn't do it. So I just sucked it up and I paid the $80. And that is the last time that I've ordered American yarn for the time being. They're really cracking down on customs and duties, and so pretty much every package I'm getting from the US, or I'm not getting any more, but everyone that I was getting from the US had like a pretty substantial customs fee on it. Usually it was like maybe like 1 in 3, which I could justify, but I can't justify it anymore. Anyway, and then I think that this one, like this package that I got was actually the last package I got from the US, but I ordered some sock yarns from Explore Knits and Fibers. A couple of these came with the Earthy DK that I'm making my halibut sweater in, and then a couple of them I ordered separately. But I have this sock set, which is called That's My Jam, and it is gorgeous. I love this. And then I've got a big cat fluff. Okay, this one here is Olympic National Park. Very pretty. This one here is Red Rocks. And these are all the Denali sock base. And then this one here is the Rocky Mountain National Park sock set. And I think the Rocky Mountain National Park is the big one, and then Rocky Mountain High, I'm assuming, is this one here, and then Leaf Peeping is this one here. So it's almost like a little person. Anyway, so yeah, those are the sock yarns that I have. I'm obviously not going to get through all of them, but I really wanted to show them to you because they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And that's kind of it for my like knitting centered plans over the next couple months. I don't know, like we'll see. I actually am also getting like LASIK done, which is like an eye corrective procedure. So I won't be able to knit for a few days, and then it's possible that like the recovery may take longer. So if I'm having like eye discomfort, trying to focus on lots of small things, I may not be able to knit that much, but I'm hopeful. I'm getting that done this week, which is pretty exciting. Alrighty, so I also have now some sewing plans. If you have zero interest in sewing, that's okay. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. If you do, I have some really beautiful fabric and I'm so hyped about it. So my first sewing plan, which I'm actually going to start later today, is I'm going to make curtains for our bedroom. And I'm really excited about this because I feel like one of the best parts about sewing is that you can make things for your house that you can't justify spending money on. And I feel like with knitting, it is always more expensive to knit your own sweater than it is to buy a pre-made sweater. Almost always. Not always, but almost always. With sewing, that is not the case. So I got 7 meters of this almond linen from Blackbird Fabrics, and I'm going to make floor length curtains out of linen fabric for our bedroom. I looked at the cost of what it would cost me to buy them pre-made for the length that I need, which is about 3 meters per curtain, and I need 2 curtains. It was gonna be like $700. And I was like, absolutely not, I can make those. So I have a plan. I'm gonna be making curtains. If I happen to finish them before the video goes up, I will add a photo, and if not, I'll show you next time. But I'm really excited. Our bedroom is painted dark green, obviously, and I think that this like almond linen is gonna be like really nice and kind of bright, but it's fairly thick, and so it actually still is going to provide some additional light blocking properties. We do have like a roller shade, but it's kind of ugly and I don't really like it. But so having this over top is gonna be really cute, and I'm really excited about that. And the rest of my sewing plans are garments. And so my next one is I want to make the Cedar pant by Leila Makes in this cotton chino twill, which is also from Blackbird Fabrics. It is, I think, like a pretty heavy weight. I don't have the actual weight at the moment, but it's 100% cotton. I think it's maybe like 8 or 9 ounces. That sounds close to being correct. Right now it's covered in cat hair, as per usual, but the Cedar pant is of interest to me because I feel like it is kind of tailored and looks more professional than drawstring or elastic waistband pants, but it still has an elastic waistband along the back, like above the bum. And so I think it'll hopefully be a good fit, or like a good in between of like comfort and also still feeling kind of put together. And this one, it has a crotch gusset. So if you're somebody, I've had crotch gussets on other pairs of pants and they've seemed to have worked very well for me, but I have like, I'm not like curvy, like not like a full hourglass figure, but like my waist proportionally is smaller than my hips and my bum and my thighs. I have really strong muscular thighs. And so I find that my pants, if they fit on the waist, they're usually slightly too snug along the thigh and they rip on the inner thigh always. That's where I get my pants ripping all the time. And so I think that actually a crotch gusset is going to provide a little bit of extra structure and strength there. And so I'm hoping that that might actually work really well for me. I think in this navy blue, it's going to be really usable and like will fit really well into my wardrobe. And like if I made the Lakes cardigan, look, I could be matching. I could look like a little crayon. Isn't that the dream? Looking like a crayon. Alrighty, the next kind of plan that I have is actually for the Bestie bag, which is a pattern by Blackbird Fabrics, and I have it already. I just need to print it out. I bought it from them and they printed it and shipped it to me. And I'm gonna make it in this chartreuse cotton canvas, which I'm pretty sure that this might be a 9 ounce. That blue fabric might be actually like more like a 7 ounce, but nice and thick. And I'm gonna do a lined version. And so the Bestie bag is just kind of like a crossbody bag with a adjustable strap. And Sydney Graham has a really cute version that she did a tutorial for where she used that same pattern and then added, maybe she quilted it or she added bows, and hers is in red. It's really cute. And so potentially I would be interested in quilting it, because I think that is fairly simple and it's just like straight lines. It's nothing too complicated. And that might be a really fun addition and it would look really cute. But I got distracted. I'm gonna line it. So I have 3 options in terms of lining. So I have this, I think this is a linen cotton. Come on, friend, you can do it. There we go. A linen cotton from Merchant and Mills. It's the Jitterbug gingham. I got it last year and I made a dress out of it. So this is like the leftovers. So I think that could be really cute as the lining. Alternatively, I have this, which is a hemp and organic cotton in the colorway Thistle, which is just like a really nice lavender. And I think that would be really nice as a lining for this. Or there's this one, and I just pulled this out before filming, and so I don't know if I have actually enough pieces or like big enough pieces, but I do have this, which is leftovers from making a dress, and potentially I could line it with the little strawberries. So that is an option. I'm gonna do this one before doing the cedar pants because I've never done a zipper. The cedar pants has a zipper. The Bestie bag has a zipper. I would rather mess up the Bestie bag than the pants. So I'm gonna do that one first. And I'm really excited about that. I recently realized that I quite like chartreuse, which is a bit ridiculous because it's such a weird color. But I'm excited to have kind of like a little like pop of chartreuse as like a little accent color that I can have. Yes. Okay. So then the rest of them are garments. Oh yeah, sorry, I guess after the curtains, I said they were all garments. The Bestie bag does not count as a garment. But there is a pattern called the Serena tie top by Rebecca Jane, and I'd like to do it in this ivory linen that I got. This is from the Sewing Club, which is a sewing store in my town. Not really a town, it's a city, Victoria, BC. They have really cute fabrics. They range in price, so they do import stuff from Merchant and Mills, but then they have things that are like more affordable. So this is a really nice linen. It says it has an arrow finish. I don't know what that means, but it's linen with an arrow finish. And the Serena tie top is a sleeveless pattern, and it's got pin tucks. I don't really know the difference. It's got pin tucks down the front, and then it's got like and then the pin tucks end, and then so there's a little bit more volume starting at the natural waist, so like for over the hip. It is a tie front, and so what I'm planning on doing is potentially adding like a modesty panel behind it. I don't yet know how that would work, because I'm assuming that you need to tie the ties up in order to close the top. But I also don't want you to be able to see my bra. So I need to do a little bit of thinking, but I do really like that one. And that's my plan with this. I think I've made a couple things recently. I made a seashell themed skirt, and I think that this white linen top over top of that seashell skirt in blue, it's blue, it's gonna be so nice. So I'm really excited about that. I do want to prioritize that one because I think that like is just perfect for the summer season. What else? Ooh. So I'm wearing them now, so I can't actually show you, but I've made 2 pairs of the bisque trouser by Vivian Xiao Chen. I really like the fit of that over the bum. And I've made 1 pair of lane pants from Sydney Graham, and I really like the length of those because they're full length, and I like the wider leg. But on the lane pants, they don't have bum darts, versus the bisque trouser does have bum darts. And so for me, the bisque trouser has a much better fit on the back compared to the lane trouser. And so what I want to do is do like a bit of a mashup where I try to grade a little bit between the 2 patterns, where I'm using like the waist size and the bum shaping from the bisque trouser, but then using the length and the width from the lane pant. And hopefully that'll work. We'll see. But I have this really beautiful antique bronze, I think it's a cotton twill or maybe like a linen twill, I can't remember. This is also from Blackbird Fabrics, and originally I bought this because I was gonna make the garden blouse, which has a ton of pin tucks. And for some reason, it didn't occur to me that this is probably thicker than I want for that. So I'm not going to make that with this fabric anymore. But I think it would be perfect for like a lightweight pair of pants. So yeah, got this. And I want to make the Elsa dress by Silversaga Designs. I have this cotton lawn from, I think, Liberty Fabrics or Liberty London or something. I think this is beautiful. It's like the base color is kind of like purpley navy black, and then it's got these really gorgeous peach flowers on it. And this is like my ideal pattern on a fabric. I love a floral print. If I could, I would just like live in floral print dresses. Sadly, I can't. I mean, I could. I don't want, you know what I mean? It would be boring after a while. So that is everything that I have in terms of like dedicated patterns with fabric to go with it. And then I have 3 other fabrics that I really would like to make with. I just don't yet know what pattern, but I kind of know what I want to make. So I have this. This is from the Sewing Club, and it's this really lightweight, I believe it's cotton, a bit sheer, well, actually a lot sheer, and then it's checked. And what I envision is making, again, like a sleeveless tank top, a sleeveless shirt, and wearing it over top of this tank top here, just for some extra coverage. But I don't yet know what pattern to make, so I don't really know, but I want to make with it. Originally, I was going to try to modify a different pattern from a dress into a shirt, and I decided I didn't like it. I did like a mock-up and decided I wasn't a fan. So I don't really know yet what I'm going to do with that one, but I do want to make something with it. And then I have this mid-weight linen that I would like to make a shirt from, a shirt with sleeves. Oh, it's nice. This is also from the Sewing Club. It's called, I think the colorway is Spice. So it'll be perfect for autumn. And finally, I have another one from Liberty Fabrics, which is this gorgeous blue and white floral. And I want to make a dress from this one, but I just don't know what dress I want to make. Originally, when I bought the fabric, I was thinking the Clara dress from Silversaga Designs, but that is actually like an off-shoulder, like puff sleeve. And I'm like, okay, realistically, it's beautiful. I don't know that I would wear it. And with a fabric this nice and this expensive, I want to make something that I can wear more often. So I just need to think a little bit more about what dress I want to make. And also, this is a lot of sewing plans for the next couple months. I probably won't make it through them all. And so I want to prioritize that blue, no, sorry, that darker fabric with the navy, sorry, the darker fabric with the peach flowers compared to this white with the blue flowers, because I think that that darker fabric will be a bit better for fall. And yes, so that is everything. That's all my knitting and my sewing plans and my yarn and my fabric that I have. I'm really excited about it, and I hope to share more about these projects with you pretty soon. So have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later. Bye.